so it's me, Kiani. Today's video, I'm back with my next installment to my Tester Invest series, where I'll be highlighting the new Morphe Fluidity Foundation. With 60 shades to boast, Morphe is hitting it hard in January, bringing us complexion products supposedly to, and I quote, tone empowering shades for every Morphe babe. But we're going to be the judge of that today. With 60 shades, I'm going to test it today to see if it's easier or harder for me to find my perfect shade. You guys can be the judge of that. Also, I'm going to show you how I apply the foundation, whether a beauty blender or a brush is the best technique. And lastly, we're going to do a wear test to see if the Morphe Fluidity Foundation is worth your investment. No, this video is not sponsored, but I did get my hands on all 60 shades at IMAX LA, so these are going to be my samples. And if you like this type of video, make sure that you go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Also, click that bell, which is a post notification, so every time I upload, you are notified. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get into my Tester Invest series, where we'll be trying out the Morphe Fluidity Foundation. Let's get started. Down on my neck. F340. Going back to the F310 because my neck, like the foundations are supposed to match the neck, right? But is it really? What do you guys think? That's F310. Let's let it breathe just a little bit. And I do like to look a little bit more bronze, so I can't say that this is totally the wrong color, but compared to this, girl, woo, girl, you are so light bulb. Oh. Now, if I'm matching my neck, I'm going to say the F310 would work. But because I like for my foundation to be a little bit warmer, this shade, I'm going to say the F340 is matching. Like I don't know why I have so much red in my face today. Maybe because the heat is on? But I'm thinking that this shade it'll be a good enough color match for us to be able to test the product, right? Ew! Back up close and personal. Let's go ahead and add a little bit more moisturizer because I did just remove that with the makeup removing wipe. Make sure I'm good and primed. So right now I'm checking to see if it's full coverage. I'm going to grab my Fluidity flat kabuki brush. I'm going to dampen that because I want this foundation just to stay on my face. And let's just see here how she does. Let's do it underneath my eye as well. Use this vein as a guide to see if it is full coverage. And notice I'm doing it in small sections. I've heard that this foundation is super matte. I've also heard that it dries really, really quickly. I call myself being clever. I'm going to take that advice just to apply the product in small sections so it would have time to blend out nicely. But it is patchy as, ooh, girl. All right, you know what? Let's go ahead and move on to this side. Let's not judge too quickly, Kiani. Let's not judge too quickly. So I'm just using a smaller brush so I can distribute it, and then I'm going to blend it down. I'm going to give it a moment just to let it oxidize a little bit. So I haven't had a problem blending it. Like, it moved fine. Obviously I had moisturizer on this morning. I did a mask. I did a serum just to make sure that my skin wasn't too dry and overly absorb the product. But I don't see anything spectacular about it as of right now. And that's just the basic honest truth. Like, I have a tiny mole right here. I can still see it. I have this vein right here. Honey, she is protruding through. And although that is my concealer area, because I don't have any other textured areas to kind of be a guide for how full coverage the foundation is. And just remember, this is one full application. I'm going to go ahead and try to use the F3.1 or 10 foundation as my concealer, and that's what I've done on this side of my eye. And as of right now, the product is blending nicely together. I just want to tell you guys that and let you see it for yourself as well. I'm just going to kind of put it on and blend it out. Since I don't have the concealer, this is just one way that I can kind of get a brightening technique. Okay, not bad. It's not concealing as much as maybe the concealer would, but it's honestly not bad. Like, it's giving me a good amount of coverage where I need it the most. This is one of my favorite ways to create a lot less texture on the skin, to basically stay within the parameters of one formulation of product. And since I don't have the concealer, I think it's only fair just to test the foundation. All right, let's move on. Let's move on. Okay, I like how that's kind of coming together. Now I think I'm just going to find a deeper shade out of the maybe medium or the dark category and see if I can kind of create a little bit of contour. F470 has a little bit of a red to it. Looks like it. Ooh, that one has a lot of red too. So I'm going to say between these two. Maybe I'll change my mind. Maybe I'll go with this one. This one is the F480. Let's see what F480 states. F480 is a neutral, okay, rich with golden undertones. F480, golden with rich golden undertones. Let's do that. But I'm still just looking at the foundation. To me, it's actually starting to look a little bit better. Am I hallucinating? Comment down below. So I'm just gonna go in with this little brush. Kind of put that in my contour zone. So what I think is going to be best is for me to now go ahead and put the rest of my face together and see if we run into any issues. But as of right now, just with me looking at it, yeah, I need to blend a little bit more. But the foundation, I'm not getting any of the skipping. I don't have dry patches on my face at the moment. So it's really going to be for me to wear the foundation all the way through the day. So as of right now, so far, so good. I'll be back in 3, 2, 1. And we are back, you guys. What do you think? This is the final look for today. I'm looking at my viewfinder and honey, I am snatched. Like, I am feeling like a grown woman. I am feeling like a super grown woman, okay? The only thing that's not making me look like a grown woman is this headband. So let me go ahead and turn it to that other girl. Hold please. Alright guys, and I am back, and just so you know, the lighting is going to be changing because I am starting to use a lot more natural light when I am showing you guys these makeup looks so we can get a good read. But as for the shade that I chose, which was the F340, I think the shade is spot on. Remember, my neck was a lot lighter than my face. Now that I have my full glam on, I'm seeing that I have a little bit more unification, and the foundation has oxidized to what I would say a little bit lighter than it came off. As far as the foundation being a full matte foundation, yeah, I'm giving it full matte. I think that so far I have gotten a fuller matte with my Maybelline Stay Matte foundation. You guys know that's one of my favorite foundations, drugstore. She's cheaper, but right now I'm thinking with my first application, I do get more with the Stay Matte than I did with the Morphe. That's nor here nor there, because when I did mix the deeper shades and the lighter shades, the foundation laid very, very nicely. And everything else, it laid nicely together as well. Things that typically are like problem products and will grab, Tarte Shape Tape, I used that today. She blended in nicely. I did use my Sigma Sculpt palette to get a little bit more contour and variation. This blended out nicely. I also buffed over my face with the Sigma, this is the Aurora powder, to get a little bit more naturalness to my face. And yeah, I'm even rocking a red lip, which is from my lip collection. This is from my LipTricks collection. It's called Practice for the Benjamins. So if you want to purchase, obviously you can do that. Follow the instructions down below. And I also use a very, very bright, kind of a corallus red neon liner from LA Girl. So I did a bunch of different things just to kind of work with the makeup to see if at any point I would be like, oh my god, this look is not going to work. I will say this is a matte foundation. I am starting to feel more comfortable with the matte foundation when I'm wearing a little bit more glam look. If you guys follow my channel, you know that I am a natural hair girl and my hair is short and it's naturally curly. This foundation, I'm going to have to try her with that type of look. As for now, I thought it was a little bit too much for my hair being up in a top knot, but I am feeling very, very confident with my hair being, you know, a little bit extra. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to risk this makeup look in going out to a meeting. Right now I have 12:31, so I'm going to wear this makeup for the rest of my day, and we'll come back and give my finalized commentary if I think the Morphe Fluidity foundation is worth my investment. Let's go ahead and get into my day. All right, so we're doing our check-in. I am headed to my meeting and I'm at a red light, but I'm just looking at this makeup in natural light. And of course the light is green, so let me put this down. All right guys, so I am back and I really do like what it looks like in natural light. A few things that I am noticing though, out in natural light, like here, she looks nice and smooth, but when I look in my mirror, I do feel like I have a little bit of lighter oxidizing going on, which is definitely noticeable because remember when I first started with the foundation, the shade that I chose was much more golden here, and when I put it on my neck, it was a lot more pasty looking, or more the wrong color, shall I say. But with the matching being so close right now, without me doing a whole lot of manipulation to the foundation, it's definitely oxidizing. So I'm going to watch out for that a little bit more. I am able to see where my Tarte Shape Tape has bonded into the foundation, so I'm noticing that it didn't blend as well as I thought when I was up under studio light. So those are just a few things that I'm going to be kind of checking on as the day progresses. But overall, I think I have a really, really pretty, you know, kind of natural glam type look. She's really not a natural makeup look. Girl, this is glam. Who you kidding? She's glam. Alright guys, and I am back to give you guys my finalized commentary on the Morphe Fluidity foundation. It's now right about 6 o'clock, which means I've had this makeup on, let's see, well over 5 to 6 hours. I think that's plenty enough time for me to give you my commentary on what I think about the foundation. I have not touched up since I left my house today because this foundation is stirring up so many things in the makeup community. I definitely want to take the time to write my thoughts down, you know, kind of in a blog post. So let's get to it. Remember, when I first started with this foundation, I had already used a mask, a serum, and a moisturizer. I have dry skin. This foundation is a matte foundation. It's also the winter here in Georgia, which means I'm having several things to work against me when wearing this foundation. So I wanted to make sure that my skin was very, very hydrated and supple, which would definitely give me an easier blend of foundation. Secondly, when I applied the foundation, remember I did apply the makeup in several different quadrants, a little bit at a time, and I blended it out. Not only did I blend it out, but I whisked the makeup out with a kabuki brush, which gave me a nice veil of the coverage on my face. If you're wanting a heavier coverage, I would probably suggest at this point using a damp beauty blender because the packing motion is going to make sure that you build the coverage. When I did more of the whisking motion with my brush, I kind of diffused the foundation. Also, I only had one drop of my shade. Remember, I had the test shade, which meant that I didn't have a lot of product to continue to build up. But once I decided to use the lighter version underneath my eye and the darker in the contour zones, technically I was building the foundation up in the same formulation, which in turn gave me a lot smoother blend than if I would have done a full face of foundation and then another veil of foundation, then a concealer, then a contour product. That's typically when you start to get a little bit cakey. The outcome that I can see with the foundation, it is a very wearable matte foundation. If I had to compare this foundation to something that might be possibly drugstore, I would definitely compare it to the Infallible Pro Matte foundation. The packaging that it comes in, as well as how the foundation oxidizes. Now I use the oxidation to my advantage because the shade that I am on my face is totally not the shade that I am on my neck, but I think from what I can tell, I have a pretty decent blend. If I have to give this foundation one downfall, I would say the 60 shades. A lot of people are really applauding Morphe for coming out with 60 shades. And I can't say that I'm surprised. I mean, it's something that should be done. I'm used to working with brands that have full ranges and colors. Estee Lauder has had full ranges and colors for quite a while now, which is probably one of my holy grail foundations when I started to learn to color match. So that wasn't the major plus on this foundation for me. I thought it was more so a little bit more of a gimmick, honestly, because with so many different shades, it's very, very hard for you to find your match. I had to stick with knowing that I typically go with neutral undertone makeup. I had to go ahead and swatch a couple different colors to get the right undertone, as well as you have to be patient enough to see how the foundation is going to oxidize, because there again, 60 different shades, it kind of can get a little confusing. And now it's time for me to answer the question, do I think the Morphe Fluidity foundation is worth the investment? I would say at an $18 price point, I totally think it's worth my investment. I was very, very surprised on how well the foundation fared all day. The foundation did not break me out. It didn't settle in my fine lines, nor did it make my pore size look bigger. I wasn't overwhelmingly wowed by the foundation, but I wasn't devastatingly unimpressed with the foundation either. So, when will I purchase this foundation? Once Ulta stocks their stores with this foundation, I think I'll be right on cue to purchase it for myself during the summer months when I need more of a matte foundation. So there you have my full commentary on the Morphe Fluidity foundation. Now it's time for you guys to comment down below. What do you think of how I had to match the foundation? Do you think that I have the right shade? Will you be picking up the Morphe Fluidity foundation for yourself? You guys know I love to know. Comment down below. You guys also know I love to connect with you, so make sure you connect with me. Follow me on all my social media links to never miss another upload. Until next time, guys, thanks so much for watching. Hugs and kisses. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.